I have a question, Stuart, Chris.
Yes, Chris.
Stuart, in your book, Moving On, you have one of your aphorisms is, once you get the human thing down, the spiritual will find a place within you. Could you talk a little bit more about that process?
Well, we have to be born here for a reason.
Mhm.
Now, we're not born here just to make money and to feel tension and to be crazy and all the things that people just strive for in living here. We're born here for another purpose: how to transform suffering, the difficulty, to an open heart, into love. How to really attain the highest levels of what it means to be human. When you begin to attain the highest levels of what it means to be human, you become a child of God. You really have to develop a chakra system that connects you to infinite energy in the universe, spirit, whatever one wants to call that. And that is basically what I'm talking about. But the first and most practical aspect of all of this is not, I'm spirit, people take on the guise of being spiritual. They wind up eating vegetables and suddenly they're spiritual. It's bullshit, It's building inside yourself a system that truly elevates you to the highest levels of what it means to be a human being. And that really has to do with the heart chakra, with opening the heart chakra, with love, with compassion for other people, kindness in the world. A person develops that inside themselves and they will become an enlightened person. The hardest job. The hardest job is not pretending you're spiritual. That's easy. You put on a kurta, you put on an orange costume and you're spiritual, I remember, I'll never forget it, where Rudy and I went to a convocation of spiritual teachers. And I had this orange silk robe that I put on. And I was a schmucky kid, what did I know about a spiritual life? I was, studying with him for a few years. And I went to this convocation and suddenly people are kissing my feet.
Wow.
Baba, 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 Baba. It was just bullshit, Yeah. And I mean, the funniest thing is running through the streets of New York in drag, wearing dresses, these orange dresses, and hailing taxis. And I mean, I found it to be hysterical. We both laughed, in fact, Rudy and I, What I'm talking about is the inner work that it takes to build a system that transforms the tension, the insecurity, the problems, into the highest level of what it means to be human. And that really is the heart chakra. God is love.
Yeah.
And you develop that chakra, you develop that inner, you need grounding, you need the mind to be quiet, you need your sexual energy to be, working properly. You need all of these things in alignment with each other that enable you to attain what you're born here to attain, and that's to learn how to become a human being. We're born on the earth to learn how to do this. Learning this, you become a child of God, not donning all the panoply of what it means to be spiritual, If you do this, I mean, I went to this memorial, somebody came up to me, was kissing my foot, and I'm dressed in, like this, But, I was a student of yours years ago, and you really introduced me to the path, spiritual path, and kept kissing my foot, this guy, And I, right, if that's what you want to do it, But what I'm saying is that it's the inner that really separates one and enables one to organically, evolve to a place inside themselves where they're human. Human beings, people that are happy, their hearts are open. And I don't mean happy when they win the lotto, mean, that's not very difficult, but happy, whatever goes on, there's joy, there's love inside them. They're not complaining about life. They're not, they find the positive in everything in life and how to use it to grow spiritually. There's compassion for the sufferings of other people. All of that is what we're here to learn. That's why we're born. And when a person develops that kind of an inner life, they're a child of God. They become an enlightened person. They're a human being. Really is the key to the whole thing, learning how to develop a chakra system that allows us to live here and transform all of this bullshit and all of this negativity and all of this crap that goes on in the world into us being human. Love. God is love. So, yeah, that's what I was talking about, Chris. That little aphorism in my book.
That is so beautiful.
I mean, I don't know why else we're born. What are we born here? To crap around making money? To be worried about this and worried about that and to live as victims. And I mean, it's all bullshit. One day we all drop dead. And what does it all amount to?
Yeah.
It's like Humphrey Bogart. It's like, it doesn't amount to anything but a hill of beans, in that movie. I mean, it's really, Casablanca, he's talking about it. My troubles and your troubles don't amount to anything but a hill of beans compared to the crap that's going on in the world, And it's to be transformed into love, into, highest elements of one's humanity. And not just like every now and then when something positive happens to you, but it's all the time. And that's what the meditation is for. You understand, the meditation is not a spiritual life. Spiritual life is what I'm talking about. The meditation is a craft that you learn to build inside yourself a system that enables you to have a spiritual life. And if you study with a teacher, whoever it is, you got to make sure that's what you're learning. That you're not just, putting on all the superficial aspects of spirituality and think you're being spiritual. You're really learning how to build. That's the purpose of a supposedly, in quotes, a spiritual teacher, to help people develop that kind of an inner life so they become one with God. They transform all the tension and problems and craziness of the world into an open heart. I mean, it was really amazing. I went to this memorial the other day, and there must have been 15 people there at least that used to be students of mine. Many of them I hadn't seen in 25 years. And look, it was some of it was very wonderful. There were all the hugs and the gratitude and the thank yous and the, how much you meant to me. And then there was the other element. People just got older.
Yeah.
They just got older. The same version of themselves when I saw them 25 years ago was now 20 years older. And that was a little sad to me, although I was, kind and nice and hugged people and it was kind of wonderful. I met my old, that was good. I met my old acupuncturist, who's really a good acupuncturist. And, oh, Stuart, how are you? We talked. So I'm going to go back and get treatments with him. That was very nice. I always liked this guy. He was a very wonderful guy. Anyway, what I'm saying is time is precious. And we have to use it consciously Time is a jewel. It's a great gift that is given to all of us. It's given a gift where we can make choices about how we want to spend it. And we have to choose what really makes us grow. Doesn't matter how, I mean, I said to Rudy, he spent 13 years with Muktananda. He hated to go there. He said, and I know why, because I saw it in person, what used to go on. It was horrible. I said, Rudy, why do you do this? Why do you go there? He said, Stuart, he's the only one I've ever met in my life who's strong enough to break me down. I have to go there and get broken down. And being broken down by him is giving me my spiritual life, because I have to go above it and transcend it and go to God. That the only answer is for me to go to God, not to fight with him about whether I'm right or he's right. Who gives a shit? I got to go to God. 13 years he did this. And I was totally astonished when and at first he used to tell me this stuff and I didn't know. Then I saw it with my own eyes, what used to go on. It was horrible. For him to treat somebody so extraordinary the way he treated Rudy. And I said, why? He can break me down. I need someone to break me down. And he's the only one I've ever found who has enough Shakti, enough strength to do it. Doesn't matter about the magic and the this and the that and all the other stuff. So time is a very precious commodity, and you have to be intelligent enough to use it consciously, and use it as a way of building a spiritual life, not as a way, well, like this, I don't like this, I don't like that. Who cares? These people are 20 years later, they could have been spent that time studying and growing and doing, and as much as I was grateful to see them and happy about seeing them, and I hadn't seen many of these people who I used to love very much. I hadn't seen them in years, and there's a lot of hugging and thanking and kissing and how are you? And it was great, But at the same time, there's the element of time and how it's spent and how people use it to develop a spiritual life. Because it's precious and it's really the greatest gift we have. And we have to learn how to use it consciously. Take advantage of what God puts in our lives.
That's wonderful. Thank you.
You're welcome. Does anyone else have a question you would like to ask? I hope this is clear, it's like Rama Maharshi used to, his students would come and, questions, and he would say, just ask yourself, who am I? And when I first heard that, it was like a riddle, a paradox to me. Why? And then I began to understand, we're like artichokes. You got to peel the layers away, get to the heart, But when you get to the heart, there's nothing left except God. Just God. And all those layers of who we think I'm a man, I'm a woman, I'm a this, I'm a Democrat, a Republican, it all gets peeled. One day we're nothing. Just children of God, nothing. And if one seriously asks themselves that question, it will create a lot of changes in their life about the way they use their time. Does anyone else have a question you would like to ask? Okay, God bless you all. Thank you for being my teacher. Thank you for giving me this opportunity to explore my inner self. Thank you for the questions that come up with these answers that I listen to. Amazing, you know. So God bless you all. Thank you. And there'll be a class on what's today, Tuesday? I don't know the date anymore, on Thursday. And I'm looking forward to seeing everybody. Bless you. Have a wonderful day.
Thank you, Stuart.
You're
Thank
welcome.
you very much. Thank you.